Hello friends. So last night I was disturbed to learn that the manifesto of Osama bin Laden is apparently going viral on TikTok. All of these young kids are apparently reading it and they're all like, oh my god, mind blown, oh, so much wisdom, so much insight, what are they keeping from us? And it's just like, how many more times is this sort of thing gonna happen? How many more times are like the young people gonna be seduced by some completely like insane extremist thing? You know what I'm talking about. It's like this sort of thing just seems to be happening over and over and over again. You know, it's like the Unabomber or Hamas or God knows what. All of these young people proving such easy marks for what is very obvious propaganda. And not just propaganda, but like propaganda from like mass murderers. When we are at the point where young people are being seduced by this kind of stuff, and not only being seduced by it, but being like exhilarated by it, like feeling tremendously self-satisfied that they've found something like precious and important, that is a very bleak moment for society, in my opinion. And I suppose it is difficult to divorce this sort of thing from a larger crisis of wisdom that I feel is sweeping across the youth of today. It is a crisis that I believe at least is rooted in a fundamental lack of knowledge and lack of appreciation for the value of accumulating knowledge. And let me just illustrate what I mean by way of metaphor. Your mind is kind of like a room, and the door into that room is one of those loose, swingy sorts of doors that you sometimes see at like shops and things. The sort of door that doesn't take very much pressure to open at all. You know, the sort of door that you can just like sort of lean on to open or like press against with your foot to open. And now we should think of knowledge as like rocks that you could put in front of that door. The more knowledge you have, the more resistance there will be when someone tries to come through that door. If you do not have a lot of knowledge, however, then it will be very easy for things to enter your mind. If you have not accumulated a lot of hard, factual information about, you know, science and economics and history and all the rest of it, then entering your mind is as simple as pushing on an open door. And I feel like we should all aspire to have minds that are not quite so easy to infiltrate. Our rocks of knowledge should provide some resistance to, you know, propaganda or extremism or violent ideologies or conspiracy theories. But when I see some of the stuff that goes viral on TikTok these days, I cannot help but feel that this is very much not the case, and that the crisis of knowledge and wisdom is actually very severe. I try not to be too bleak or pessimistic about these kinds of things. You know, I think I am generally an optimistic person by disposition. But if we allow young people to wallow in their ignorance to the degree that they currently are, if we allow them to be so smug and self-righteous about their ignorance, so oblivious about the degree to which they are easy marks for the worst sorts of misinformation, and the degree that they inhabit a sort of social media ecosystem that actively incentivizes misinformation and propaganda, then, you know, it's really hard to know where the optimism is supposed to come from.